The 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria is a major division used as administrative convenience in the distribution of Nigeria's wealth in education, economic, and political resources. Nigeria is made up of approximately 400 ethnic groups and 450 languages, with some of the ethnic groups having similarities and common political history, which is why there is a classification and merging of some Nigerian states along their geopolitical zones. However, what we want to know is whether or not there is a legislation on this system of division, and if Nigeria has been using it but has never, ever captured it or gazetted it in the laws of the land, and that is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is our focus today on this episode of The Patriot on Television Nigerian. Welcome on board. I am Peggy Shandi.
To Nigeria, my country. So goes the opening lines of the 6-line national pledge of Nigeria. Today, not a few, whether young or old, merely recite the national pledge as a matter of routine or tradition, with their hearts being poles apart from the very spirit, creed, and essence of the pledge. Many simply do not understand its purport or feel the import of it, while many others choose to observe the pledge in breach only. Today we have decided to walk on the footpath of the very words of the national pledge, keeping its vision and essence in our hearts, in our souls, and in our minds.
I pledge Nigeria, my country,
to be faithful,
loyal, and honest,
to serve Nigeria with all my strength,
to defend her unity,
and uphold her honor and glory.
So help me God. Nigeria, no doubt, will truly be the giant of Africa, developed and well rated in all indices, if her national pledge is treated with sacred obedience. It's on us, it's our duty and responsibility to make this country a better place. Let's live the pledge.
Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. Our guest who will shed more light on this very important topic is none other but the indefatigable Honorable Pam Sokbo, a member of the House of Representatives representing the good people of Buruku Federal Constituency at the National Assembly. He belongs to many committees: Agri Production, Communications, Federal Capital Territory, ICT, IDP camps, and all matters relating to IDPs, gas resources, and several other committees. Honorable, welcome to the Patriot on Television Nigeria.
Thank you, Peggy. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you very much. It's nice to have you here for a very long time.
Thank you.
Right, we're going very straight to the point. We have heard a lot of good things that you have done in participation to national development, and you have been doing very well. You're a newcomer in the National Assembly, but it looks like you have been there for so many years. I must appreciate you very well for coming to the Television Nigeria on the Patriot. You have done so much patriotic acts, and we have heard that you are sponsoring a bill. You are sponsoring a bill at the National Assembly.
Yes.
Can you tell us something about that bill that has gone agog and everybody's talking about it, please?
Well, Peggy, thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you for the very kind words. I'm humbled. Straight to the point, I sponsored a bill recently for the inclusion of geopolitical zones in the Constitution. It's quite odd and curious that since 1994, when these geopolitical zones were introduced into our daily conversation by the former Vice President of this country, the late Dr. Alex Ekwueme, it has become more or less part of our daily lives. We share educational, political, and economic resources along those lines in this country. But it's quite curious and odd that till date they have not been given a constitutional recognition. We have several commissions, the Nigerian Communications Commission, the Fiscal Responsibility Commission, the Federal Character Commission, the Hajj Commission, and several others that have within their, their respective acts and within their structures recognized the six geopolitical zones.
Yes, that's right.
And also have appointed commissioners to represent those geopolitical zones as we now know them. Yeah. But then they're completely unconstitutional. There is no backing. I mean, why do we have 6 commissioners? Why can't we have 12 commissioners? Now the reason is it just feels very arbitrary that you just plucked 6 zones out of thin air and you're using them in your daily conversations.
Every day, using them, applying them, but there's no power to it.
Yes, there's no power. Yeah. So I felt it was important that those geopolitical zones were given constitutional recognition in a bid to further strengthen our national, life and our democracy. Wow. So that was what informed sponsoring the bill. Now the bill seeks to amend Section 3 of the Constitution by adding a clause which clearly defines the 6 geopolitical zones and the states, or in the case of the Middle Belt, the FCT, 6 defines the composition of the geopolitical zones.
Yes, yes. All right, thank you very much, Honorable. Thank you. That was so deep. I still remember, I'm still reminding myself that I am in a class and listening to the lecturer talk to us. But that's very deep. Nonetheless, I have to appreciate you for conceptualizing that idea, because quite a number of them who have been old-timers in the house, none of them thought about this. And then you know that they have been using it. And then maybe this bill is also seeking to redress most of those zones, geopolitical zones that must have been, overloaded with resources. It's a distribution of resources thing. And sometimes, maybe that is also what, but we want to find out very specific questions from you, Honorable. I'm happy that I found you here to talk about this. And you're live on television, Nigerian, and the world is watching you. You schooled in the United Kingdom, so we have been able to tag your school, and most of your lecturers are listening to you. So you're in a hotspot. Benue State government is also watching you. The Villa is also watching you right now. And I'll go straight to the first question. A school of thought that has it that major problems with Nigeria's federalism, is structural imbalance, which necessitated the creation of these regions, the partitioning of these regions, along the geopolitical zones. How true is this assertion?
Well, yes, one of the major problems that's plaguing us as a country is the fact that you have an over-centralization of power and of control. And it tends to lead to inefficiencies. It tends to lead to lack of